He arrived in America with 4 cents in his pocket, a book of poetry, and a mind that would electrify the world. A man whose visions of wireless power and global communication seemed like science fiction to his contemporaries, yet now form the foundation of our modern world. A brilliant inventor who sacrificed fortune for the pursuit of knowledge. Nikola Tesla. Long before Silicon Valley entrepreneurs spoke of changing the world, before disruption became a business buzzword, there was a Serbian-American engineer whose inventions and ideas truly transformed how humanity lives, works, and communicates. The present is theirs. The future, for which I have really worked, is mine. New York City, late 19th century. The Industrial Revolution was reaching its peak. Cities glowed with Thomas Edison's direct current electricity, unreliable, inefficient, and limited in range. America was rapidly industrializing, but a fundamental problem remained unsolved: how to generate and distribute electrical power effectively. In this era of rapid technological change, one man saw beyond the limitations of existing systems. Tesla, with his tall, slender frame, meticulous appearance, and piercing eyes, was an unlikely revolutionary. Born in 1856 in Smiljan, Croatia, then part of the Austrian Empire, to a Serbian Orthodox priest and a mother with a talent for invention, he showed extraordinary abilities from childhood. He could visualize complete machines in his mind, making blueprints unnecessary. He spoke 8 languages and could memorize entire books. Yet conventional success eluded him early on. He dropped out of Polytechnic school, suffered a nervous breakdown, and worked as a draftsman to survive. Something drove Tesla beyond ordinary ambition, a series of visions and ideas so powerful he felt compelled to bring them into reality. According to his autobiography, the idea for his revolutionary alternating current motor came to him while reciting poetry during a Budapest sunset. The complete diagram appeared in his mind as if projected on a screen. This moment would change the course of technological history. Tesla would go on to develop the polyphase alternating current system that powers our world today, invent radio technology, despite Marconi receiving initial credit, demonstrate wireless power transmission, create the first remote-controlled vessel, contribute to the development of X-ray technology, and envision a worldwide wireless communication system decades before the Internet. Through careful experimentation and extraordinary mental visualization, he would revolutionize how humanity harnesses electrical power. His vision extended beyond mere invention into how technology could transform human civilization itself. His conclusion: the future belonged to those who could transcend the limitations of conventional thinking to envision entirely new technological paradigms. This radical technological imagination became the foundation of his approach. All that was great in the past was ridiculed, condemned, combated, suppressed, only to emerge all the more powerfully, he reportedly declared, not as an excuse for isolation, but as recognition that truly transformative ideas often face resistance before their time comes. Consider how revolutionary this approach was. In a society that valued practical, incremental improvements and immediate commercial applications, Tesla introduced sweeping technological visions decades ahead of their time. In an age when invention was becoming industrialized and profit-driven, he remained devoted to discovery for humanity's benefit. In a culture that increasingly valued specialization, he worked across electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, physics, and even early robotics. No wonder he struggled to maintain financial stability despite his genius. Ask yourself, when was the last time you thought beyond immediate practical concerns? When did you last pursue an idea, not because it was marketable, but because it was transformative? How often do you question the technological limitations others take for granted? Tesla's first lesson: true innovation begins with the courage to envision what others consider impossible. The moment you accept the current technological paradigm as fixed is the moment you stop contributing to human progress. I do not think there is any thrill that can go through the human heart like that felt by the inventor as he sees some creation of the brain unfolding to success. If you had visited Tesla's laboratory, you wouldn't have found him simply refining existing technologies or seeking minor improvements. Instead, you'd have witnessed spectacular demonstrations of entirely new principles, artificial lightning crackling across the room, light bulbs illuminated wirelessly, and remote-controlled boats navigating without any visible means of control. This was Tesla's approach to innovation, a form of technological thinking that began not with what was currently possible, but with what fundamental principles of nature might allow. Unlike Edison, who famously described genius as 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration through systematic trial and error, Tesla worked from vision to reality through mathematical calculation and mental simulation. What made this approach so powerful? Unlike more pragmatic inventors focused on commercial applications, Tesla wasn't primarily interested in incremental improvements. He was interested in discovering and harnessing fundamental forces of nature. He understood that meaningful scientific advancement doesn't come from optimizing existing systems, but from recognizing entirely new possibilities within natural laws. There's a story that when Tesla demonstrated radio-controlled boats in 1898, spectators were so astonished they suggested he had trained a small monkey hidden inside or was controlling it through mind power. The idea of remote control was so revolutionary that observers couldn't comprehend the actual scientific principles at work. Whether this specific reaction is apocryphal or not, it captures something essential about Tesla's approach. He understood that revolutionary technology doesn't just solve existing problems, it creates new paradigms that reshape what we consider possible. Think about technological innovation today. We often treat it as a process of optimization. Faster processors, more efficient batteries, streamlined algorithms. But Tesla recognized that true technological leaps come from fundamental reconceptualization, not incremental improvement. It's about asking entirely different questions rather than finding better answers to the same questions. When he designed the alternating current system, Tesla wasn't just trying to improve direct current. He was reimagining the entire approach to electricity generation and distribution based on different physical principles. The result wasn't marginally better. It was transformatively superior, capable of sending electricity over vast distances with minimal loss. How different would your approach to problems be if you thought like this? Not as challenges to overcome within existing frameworks, but as opportunities to discover entirely new approaches. Not as constraints to work around, but as invitations to reimagine fundamental assumptions. Tesla's second lesson: innovation isn't about optimization within existing paradigms. It's about creating new paradigms entirely. Cultivate the ability to question fundamental assumptions rather than accepting conventional limitations. Your greatest contributions will come not from solving existing problems, but from reframing the questions themselves. The scientists of today think deeply instead of clearly. One must be sane to think clearly, but one can think deeply and be quite insane. For all his revolutionary thinking, Tesla was deeply methodical in his work. He kept meticulous records, performed careful calculations, and based his most fantastic-seeming inventions on sound scientific principles. His imagination was boundless, but his engineering was precise. This wasn't undisciplined dreaming. Tesla recognized that true innovation requires both visionary thinking and rigorous execution. He criticized mere theorizing without practical application just as strongly as he dismissed blind trial and error without theoretical understanding. In his Colorado Springs laboratory, Tesla conducted systematic experiments with high-voltage, high-frequency electricity. Though pursuing ideas as seemingly fantastical as wireless power transmission across the globe, his approach was methodical, carefully documenting voltage measurements, calculating field strengths, and recording atmospheric conditions. Unlike some visionaries who might sketch ambitious ideas without regard for practical implementation, Tesla developed complete systems. His AC electrical system wasn't just a motor or generator. It was a comprehensive approach to generation, transmission, and utilization of electrical power that accounted for real-world engineering challenges. The relationship between Tesla and financier J.P. Morgan reveals much about the tension between visionary science and commercial practicality. Morgan initially funded Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower project, intended as the first wireless telecommunications system, but withdrew support when he realized Tesla's ultimate vision included wireless power transmission that couldn't be metered and monetized. This conflict exemplifies the challenge Tesla faced throughout his career, pursuing scientific advancement for humanity's benefit while working within an economic system that demanded profitable applications. His vision extended beyond quarterly profits to how technology could reshape civilization itself. Consider how this applies to our own approach to innovation. In an age of disruption-obsessed startups and quarterly-focused corporations, Tesla reminds us that meaningful technological progress requires both bold vision and methodical execution. Neither wishful thinking disconnected from physical reality nor incremental improvement without broader purpose leads to transformative innovation. At the same time, he demonstrates that truly revolutionary advances often can't be evaluated solely by immediate market potential. Some ideas require longer time frames and different metrics of value than commercial return on investment. Tesla's third lesson: balance visionary thinking with methodical execution. True innovation emerges from the tension between imaginative possibilities and practical constraints. Challenge yourself to be both the dreamer who envisions what could be and the engineer who builds what will be. Let the future tell the truth and evaluate each one according to his work and accomplishments. The present is theirs. The future, for which I have really worked, is mine. Even as he developed technologies that would make others wealthy, Tesla maintained an unwavering focus on what truly mattered to him: the advancement of human capability through technology. He had little interest in material wealth or business empire building, reportedly tearing up a lucrative contract with Westinghouse that would have made him the world's first billionaire when the company faced financial difficulty. When visiting his friends' luxurious homes, he could appreciate their beauty, but felt no desire to accumulate such possessions himself. While contemporaries like Edison and Westinghouse built industrial empires, Tesla remained focused on discovery and invention rather than commercialization and profit. This focus extended to his work. While others pursued technologies with obvious immediate commercial applications, Tesla directed his attention to fundamental advances that might not be fully realized for decades. Wireless power transmission, vertical takeoff aircraft, renewable energy, and even early concepts related to what we now call smartphones and the internet. This commitment to long-term vision over short-term gain was revolutionary in America's Gilded Age, a period characterized by industrial expansion, wealth accumulation, and often ruthless business competition. Tesla evaluated technological potential based on benefit to humanity, not just profit potential. His hotel room at the New Yorker, where he spent his final years, was modest by any standard. Though he had once been celebrated in the finest social circles, he lived out his days feeding pigeons in nearby parks, having sacrificed fortune for the pursuit of knowledge that might benefit future generations. Yet Tesla wasn't an impractical dreamer. He understood the necessity of financial backing for his work and actively sought investors throughout his career. He simply refused to compromise his ultimate vision for immediate profit or to pursue wealth as an end in itself. How might this perspective transform your own priorities? In a world obsessed with immediate returns, quick exits, and conspicuous consumption, Tesla invites us to ask, what truly constitutes meaningful work? Is it the size of your bank account, the luxury of your lifestyle, the status of your position, or is it the lasting impact of your contributions, the integrity of your vision, the benefit your work brings to humanity? Tesla's fourth lesson: focus on lasting impact rather than immediate reward. Distinguish between the superficial markers of success and meaningful contribution in your finite lifetime. Material prosperity has its place, but the advancement of human capability should be your highest priority. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. Perhaps Tesla's most intriguing quality was his blend of scientific rigor and intuitive understanding of nature's deeper patterns. Though trained in engineering and physics, he maintained that his greatest insights came through moments of intuition and visualization that transcended conventional analytical thinking. This integration wasn't mere mysticism or deflection. It reflected a profound understanding that reality contains dimensions beyond our immediate sensory perception. What we might today recognize as the electromagnetic spectrum, quantum phenomena, or field theory. Tesla understood that what appears as solid matter to our senses is actually mostly empty space filled with energy. Consider his approach to creativity. Tesla claimed that his best inventions came to him fully formed in moments of insight, often while walking in nature or during periods of relaxation rather than conscious effort. He would then work backwards from these visions, applying rigorous mathematics and engineering principles to bring them into physical reality. This combination of intuitive vision and analytical validation characterized his entire career. According to his own accounts, Tesla could visualize machines so completely in his mind that he could test them mentally, identifying design flaws before building physical prototypes. This saved him countless hours of trial and error while allowing him to conceptualize systems of unprecedented complexity. His interest in what we might now call the mind-body connection was evident in his personal habits as well. He developed elaborate daily rituals, from calculating the cubic contents of his food to walking exactly 10 miles daily, that he believed optimized his mental and physical functioning. While some of these habits might seem eccentric, they reflected his understanding of himself as an integrated system of energy, rather than separate mental and physical components. What's most remarkable isn't just his technical achievements, but his consistent exploration of boundaries between energy and matter, between intuition and analysis, between what was known and what might be possible. How would your own approach to creativity and problem-solving change if you integrated intuitive understanding with analytical thinking more consciously? How might you cultivate the conditions for insight rather than forcing solutions through sheer effort? How would you live differently if you truly understood yourself as an energy system in dynamic relationship with the natural world? Tesla's fifth lesson: embrace both analytical thinking and intuitive understanding. True innovation emerges from their integration, not their separation. Cultivate practices that allow you to access deeper patterns and possibilities beyond conventional perception while maintaining the rigor to validate and implement your insights. The ultimate irony of Tesla's life is that this man whose inventions power the modern world died in relative obscurity and financial hardship, the same technologies that made others fabulously wealthy, from alternating current to radio broadcasting, left their originator struggling to fund his later research. This leads to what observers might call the Tesla paradox. How could someone so brilliant at harnessing the fundamental forces of nature be so unsuccessful at navigating human systems of commerce and credit? How could the modern world be built upon his inventions while largely forgetting the inventor himself for decades? In a sense, this contradiction perfectly embodies Tesla's legacy. He wasn't concerned with creating personal wealth or ensuring his name would dominate the historical record. He was concerned with advancing human capability through technology, with creating systems and devices that would transform civilization regardless of who received credit. When he stated that the present is theirs, the future for which I have really worked is mine, Tesla understood his role. He wasn't working primarily for recognition by his contemporaries, but for the benefit of generations yet unborn. He was the visionary whose ideas would require decades to be fully understood and implemented. Nearly a century after his death, we're still catching up to Tesla's visions. Wireless power transmission, renewable energy, remote control, automation, and global instantaneous communication. Ideas he pioneered in the late 19th and early 20th centuries are now central to 21st century technological development. These visions remain as vital today as they were in Tesla's time. In an age of climate change, energy challenges, and technological transformation, the Teslian approach, envisioning technology that works with nature's fundamental principles rather than against them, prioritizing global benefit over narrow commercial interests, seeking sustainable rather than exploitative technological paradigms, is more essential than ever. What if you approached your work with Tesla's mindset? What if you valued contribution over credit? What if you treated technological innovation as a means to enhance human capability rather than merely a path to profit? What if you balanced analytical rigor with intuitive understanding? What if you focused on creating lasting value rather than capturing immediate reward? What if you measured success by impact on future generations rather than contemporary recognition? Consider this. Tesla transformed the modern world without achieving lasting wealth or even recognition during much of his lifetime. He did it through unwavering dedication to bringing transformative technologies into reality, by engaging deeply with fundamental principles of nature and envisioning applications that others couldn't yet comprehend. You may never be remembered as Tesla is, but you can bring the same quality of purpose-driven innovation to your own work and contributions. You can choose to create value that outlasts you rather than merely extracting value during your lifetime, to seek understanding that transforms paradigms rather than merely optimizing within existing ones. Tesla once described his purpose as increasing human energy through technology, by which he meant not just electrical power, but human capability and potential. Perhaps his greatest lesson is that innovation isn't ultimately about devices or systems, but about enhancing humanity's ability to thrive in harmony with natural principles. Remember, the goal isn't to become Tesla, but to follow his example by directing your unique talents toward contributions that matter beyond your lifetime. If you found value in today's exploration of Teslian wisdom, consider how you might apply these 5 lessons in your own life. Cultivate the courage to envision what others consider impossible, refusing to accept current limitations as permanent. Focus on creating new technological paradigms rather than merely optimizing within existing ones. Balance visionary thinking with methodical execution, being both the dreamer and the builder. Prioritize lasting impact over immediate rewards, measuring success by contribution rather than accumulation. Integrate analytical thinking with intuitive understanding, recognizing that breakthrough insights often emerge from their synthesis. Pick just one of these principles to practice this week. Notice how it changes your approach to problems and possibilities in your own sphere of influence. Until next time, learn from the past to create an extraordinary future. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence.